Welcome to Conversations, Season 2 of the MTA podcast series, a weekly audiocast featuring interviews with leading investment strategists, geopolitical experts, and other key thought leaders. Brought to you by the Market Technicians Association.
Our speaker today is Phil Roth, and Phil is the Chief Market Analyst at Miller Tabak & Company. In the past, he has also served as Chief Market Technician at Morgan Stanley, Shearson Lehman, and a number of other firms. Phil is also a three-time past president of the MTA and a former director of the New York Society of Security Analysts. He's a frequent commentator on CNBC. He is an adjunct professor at the Graduate School of Business at Fordham, and he has lectured on technical analysis at numerous colleges throughout the country. And again, my name's Kevin Hockert, and this is Craig Johnson as well, and we're pleased to have Phil Roth here to speak with us for a couple of minutes. Phil?
Thank you very much. What we're going to talk about is how I integrate sentiment and supply-demand analysis into my overall market opinion. Trend and momentum indicators give us direction and force behind moves. I use sentiment and supply-demand indicators to get insights as to where we are in the moves. The most important technical precept to me is that investors make bottoms and traders make tops. They are motivated by different things, so I have indicators that tell me what investors are doing. I expect to see investors motivated when prices are low and declining. I have indicators that point out what traders are doing. I expect traders to be increasingly bullish during uptrends and increasingly bearish during downtrends. So we look at indicators like sentiment polls and put-call ratios, short interest. We also look at long-term statistics from the Fed to get some insights. The most important thing, of course, is always the market action itself. We never want to use sentiment indicators in isolation from market activity. When a market has been advancing and faltered, and I see sign that traders are very optimistic and investors are growing pessimistic, then I expect a more serious top to evolve.
One question from you, Phil, here is you also talked about today's presentation here at the Minnesota MTA chapter, is you talked about fund flows as a percent of households and some of the shifts that you've seen over time, and equity percentages are still fairly high levels. Do you suspect that's going to be changing anytime soon?
Well, investors were scared to death after the bear markets in the last decade. There were two pretty vicious bears, but they really didn't sell all that much. So their equity holdings are still relatively high, and I think it's going to continue to inhibit them from putting new money in the market. It will take a new generation of investors with no memory of those bear markets to start to be investing again in size. And I think over time we'll see that.
Thank you, Phil. I have a question on sentiment. I know recently the AAII numbers came out maybe 2 Thursdays ago, and I believe the bears were like 47% and the bulls 24%. And I did a quick little study. It suggested that there was an 80% chance that the market would be 4.5% higher 4 weeks later. And then after talking to you this afternoon, come to find out there's a few other short-term sentiment indicators that are kind of mixed. Do you care to share those with us again?
Well, since the public has been out of the market, the public showing up really bearish in that AAII survey, it just is less important to me now than it might have been in the past. The polls with professionals didn't show that much pessimism. They were more neutral, and professionals are driving the market. So I can only say it's a one indicator, it's a positive indicator, but to me when I add them all up, I get a mediocre bottom right here.
Thank you, Phil. We really appreciate you coming out to Minneapolis today and sharing your expertise with us. And again, we'd just like to thank you for taking the time and appreciate you sharing your knowledge. So today, this is Craig Johnson and Kevin Hockert, and our speaker again is Phil Roth.
Thank you much, guys.
Thank you.